She is a real person. She's a fun personality.
Anna's fun to work with because she's just a pleasant person and an enthusiastic person, and she comes to practice ready to work every day.
Let's just change that.
I'm Hillary Merkley. I am the Director of Track and Field Cross Country here at Idaho State University. I'm entering my 4th year as a head coach.
My name is Dan Walker. I am an assistant track and field coach at Idaho State University. This is my 3rd year here, and this is my 35th year of being a NCAA Division I track and field coach.
Hi, my name is Anna Gardom. I am a javelin thrower at Idaho State University. I'll be graduating in May with degrees in psychology and sociology with a concentration in criminology. So growing up, I actually played softball, and one of the things that I was always praised on was how fast I could get around the bases and stuff. And I just always loved knowing that I could run fast and like outrun things. And so I was actually just always waiting for the day that I could start running track. I ended up winning winning state in the 400 my freshman year of high school. So I feel like at that point everyone's like, oh, okay, I guess you're gonna stick with track now. And so that's kind of how I ended up there.
Anna kind of came to the program as a sprinter. I knew that she had run 400 meters. I knew that I think her times in high school in the 400 were kind of close to 61. Those times are not really impressive times that somebody would be recruited for necessarily, but I knew she had some potential in the 400 meters.
Okay, so coming out to run my freshman year, I was really excited. Like, I was like, oh yeah, like watch. Not like I'm gonna be great, but I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna show them what I've got and stuff. And in the end, I never really showed them what I got, but as just the year progressed, I just found no matter how hard I tried, no matter how much I worked, I just was not getting any better. Like, I mean, my practice sessions were always great. Like, I was making times, I was doing that, but whenever it came down to like competition, like I just couldn't push myself to get past like my mental barriers and stuff, which really sucked because, you know, I was training with like our best girls and I was staying up with them and I was hitting my marks, and then it comes to meet days and I'm just still coasting at what I came out of high school coasting at. So that was really challenging. At the same time that I'm like dealing with all like this discouragement on the track, I'm actually coming to find out that things outside of things in other aspects of my life are starting to get more and more challenging. I started dealing with some mental health concerns. I had some family issues. At this point, everything just is weighing down on me, and I'm feeling very, very much like nothing is going right and that things are really starting to get hard. And like, is there even a purpose in continuing to try and pursue my track career when I feel like nothing's going? But one of the highlights of freshman year actually was the day we did a plyo test. And part of the plyo test was, you know, checking out like arm explosion and throwing a football as far as you can. And so in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, I got this. Like, I so got this. I mean, I can't run worth crap, but I got this. And so I ended up, my turn came around and I ended up throwing it, and I threw it like 45 yards or so. I want to say like 44, 45 yards or so. And it ended up being farther than any of the girls and farther than half the guys. The results of that were really, you know, kind of exciting. Everyone was like, okay, like we'll try sticking in that. And I had a couple teammates actually who were like, watch this, Anna's gonna become the next like javelin conference champion. Like, I just see it now. And I was like, haha, that's funny, guys. I mean, that'd be awesome, but.
One day a girl from the sprint group came up to me and said, my name is Anna Gardom. She said, last spring at the end of the track season, we had kind of a multi-events competition, and one of the events was throwing a football. And she told me that she beat all of the girls, including all the javelin throwers, and most of the boys in throwing the football. So I went to the head coach and told Hillary Merkley about this conversation I'd had with Anna. And she says, well, let me talk to the sprint coach and see if we can maybe have you work with Anna a couple of days a week and see what you think. I said, okay, that's great. So I got Anna 2 days a week, and after 2 practices, I went back to Hillary and said, this girl's gonna be really, really good, but not if I can only have her 2 days. I want her every day.
So we kind of knew she had some talent But other people on the outside didn't quite know what she was capable of doing, and I don't even know if Anna really knew what she was capable of doing.
I remember that day I was really sad because I was losing something that I had done for so long. Like sprinting was everything I've ever loved, but I also got the opportunity to, go with other teammates and explore new options.
So that first meet, she had a throw and it puts her in the hunt, and I think it was surprising to Anna because she wasn't really sure that she could be up at that level right away. And she was used to being the person that's the back of the pack of the sprint group and just happy to be here instead of, hey, now you're a player in the game.
So we went to the conference championship. We felt like she had a legitimate chance to score and be in the top 8. So she was in the first flight, and at the end of the first flight, she was either leading the competition or was second in the competition. I think she was second. And after the second flight through, which were the better throwers, I think she dropped only down to about 4th or 5th, and we thought she still had a very good chance to score. And when it was announced the finals, she made the finals, and 8 of the 9 people in the final scored. So we were pretty excited that she was going to score. And then we started having these greedy thoughts, well, maybe she can be one of the top 3 and actually get on the podium and win a medal.
And so there was starting to be this chatter amongst the people on the team, and we're all at different places around the track. Hey, Anna just moved up in the rankings. And so people started gravitating and moving towards the javelin area, and all of a sudden you see all the orange at the track gravitating towards the javelin runway.
And she came up to her last throw. Well, just as the meet progressed, the women's 5,000 was going along at the time that she was throwing, and all of the javelin throwers started their approaches out on the track and then took a couple steps, and then they were just on the javelin runway. And she was throwing at a time when the 5,000 meter runners were spread out all over the track. And so it was like she was trying to cross a busy street to figure out when she could get out to her mark and start her approach. And all throwers stand on their mark for a few seconds and rock back and forth and visualize what they're going to do and their timing, and just try to make sure they're ready to go before they take their first step. Well, there were so many runners spread out around the track that she didn't have that opportunity. So as soon as she saw an opening, she dashed out, put her foot on her mark, turned around and ran.
And so I just go, and without thinking, like, I feel good, I know all my steps are right, and I let go of the javelin, and I have never felt so good as I did in that moment. And before I could even realize what the throw was like or how I felt, I just hear all my team behind me, all along the fence, and they all just started screaming. And I feel so good, because in that moment there was nothing better than hearing all of those people that I love and that support me, just hearing them just scream. And it was the most it was just awesome to sit there and hear that.
Tasha Powell-Elkington, who works with me with all the throwers, was standing behind me, and as we watched the javelin fly through the air, Tasha's going, "Coach Walker, Coach Walker." And I go, "Yeah, I see it, I see it." And it was just hilarious because it was unworldly. She had been throwing around 140, 145, and she hit this one, and when they measured it, it was 160 feet. And we're just all beside ourselves. I mean, that was so far beyond what we were expecting or even hoping for.
Instantly, I see my mark, and I just dropped to the ground. I had thrown a lifetime PR, and I threw, and in that throw, I jumped from 4th to 1st and made my mark. And with that throw, I won conference, and it was the happiest thing ever.
So it's such a compelling story to have a person who had never thrown the javelin come in and practice for 6 or 7 months and end up winning the conference championship, throwing far enough to get to go to the first round of the NCAA championships, and took us all by surprise, and what a great surprise.
this year, I'm so excited. I have one more, it's my final year, but not only that, like it's one more opportunity to see just how well I can do and kind of to make myself proud and just do what I can for myself. And so this year I have 3 big goals. And the first one is to be conference champion one more time, finish off on that high note. Following that, I am working towards being the javelin record holder for the school. And then lastly, but certainly not least, is my goal to be an All-American, which just means I just make it to that second round, make it to nationals, and perform to the absolute best of my ability and be one of the top ones in the nation. And I think that would just be, I think that would be a final, like a fantastic ending to an already exciting story. So.
Well, I think team-wise, it just kind of opened up the eyes of possibilities. You know, all of us as humans kind of put limits on ourselves, and we think, well, we can do this, and if everything goes great, maybe we can do this, but not going to go beyond that. And what she did was so far beyond what we had hoped and what she thought she could do. And she's just a kid. I mean, she's just like all the rest of the good kids on the track team. And so they could start thinking, well, if Anna could have this much of an improvement, why not me? And I think it did have an impact, and I think it still does. I think people still think, you know, I'm going to raise my level of expectation for myself and see if I can do what Anna did.